This right here, that's a smart meter going off and catching fire.
So I talked to the owner of this house right here in Pasadena. I talked to the owner. The owner does not have a smart meter on this house, on the front part of his house. There's no smart meter, no smart meter. So the house did not burn. The back house is the part of the house that had the smart meter, and everything in the back of his house is burnt. No smart meter, smart meter.
Fires they blame on smart meters. He noticed several PG&E employees got there almost as quickly, and he says one of them removed the smart meter while the firefighters worked. A few months earlier, the same thing happened at this home in Kerman. Attorneys say electricity surged at the smart meter that was right here, and it caused the fire.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
This is biblical level destruction, and the city of LA is hosting the Olympics in 4 years. There's no way we can showcase LA to the world. A full federal takeover is needed. Invoke the Stafford Act. The state's overwhelmed. Martial law might have to be declared.
And every conversation we're having about evacuations, that depopulation conversation is continuously coming up.
You're not in hell just quite yet, but what you are witnessing is the road being paved directly to it. For the old world must burn first, because the phoenix rises from the ashes.
New technology can provoke a reaction, a sort of fear, an inhibition, a caution, if you like. And because of the fears of a small risk, too often you miss the massive opportunity. So we've got to challenge that mindset. Because actually, the far bigger risk is that if we don't go for it, we're left behind by those who do. And that's what I mean about totally rewiring government, being emboldened to take risks.
2025 is here, and one thing is clear. The de-dollarization is not stopping, it's accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are reducing their dependence on the US dollar and are establishing themselves as global economic superpowers. Their secret weapon? Gold. China is buying a lot of gold, but they underreport their buy. Gold is tangible, reliable, and immune to economic manipulation. China and other BRICS countries want to be prepared, they just don't want it known. Listen, in a world of shifting economic power, gold is your personal hedge against uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments can help you secure your financial future with gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more, and with a qualified account, receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. So John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's going to be a little different than usual. When you are doing what we have been doing for many, many years, much longer than Inspired has existed, in the public arena some 15 years, and as researchers 25 plus years. When you do that, and when you get the opportunity like we do to, speak to a sizable audience regularly, which we're very thankful for, then you weigh your words. You're conscious of what you're saying and when you're saying it and how you're saying it. And while I would never claim that I have responsibility for anyone else but myself, naturally, and maybe my family, yeah, I do feel sometimes that I'm holding back, and that I'm not saying things in a way that I would truly want them to come out. The situation is much more dire than what meets the eye and what people want to believe. And I'll sort of give you the picture that, throughout the years, I've been called crazy, and acquaintances, friends, strangers have called me all kinds of names and conspiracy theorists and nut job and tinfoil head. The same people, the very same, have fairly recently, maybe in recent years, months, sort of jumped on board because they see things they couldn't see before. And those same people are now saying, well, what is the solution? They're pointing at me and saying, what is the solution? And we talk about these things very often. But the very basic premise of solving a problem is to remove the problem. What is it that is causing all this havoc and chaos, or who? And why? And there is an incredible reluctance among the vast majority of people to actually fundamentally look at the problem, to be able to see it for what it is. We have seen in the last 5 years attacks over attacks over attacks on our humanness, on our very biology, on our cities, on our towns, on our homes, on our health, on our families, on everything. It is a fucking war. And we are constantly battling within our community. And I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone in specific, but we're battling with accepting that truth. Throughout the entire West and beyond, by the way, we have an incredible amount of sleeper cells, people that have been brought into the nations for one reason and one reason only, to destroy the nation in its current form, to destroy the society and the culture in its current form. These people are active, but they haven't been nearly activated in the way that they will be. It doesn't matter if you're in Europe, doesn't matter if you're in Canada, doesn't matter if you're in the United States, doesn't matter if you're in Australia. These sleeper cells are waiting for their marching orders. And some of them have already gotten their marching orders, and they're burning shit down, and they're creating havoc and chaos, and are violating children and women and whatnot. We have weather warfare at a level that we've never seen before. And it's intensifying every single day. We're being bombarded with electromagnetic frequencies at a level that has never happened before, and it is increasing at such a rapid pace. People don't connect the dots, but that is warfare against who and what we are. This realm is being terraformed. It means it's being changed for a different life form from a carbon-based life form that we are, and these conditions that we're finding even now are fairly favorable, to conditions that will favor a different life form. Everything that you know today was aimed to be used against you. The things that you call food, 95% of it it's the poison that is slowly killing you. Now it's becoming faster. 99% of what you call medicine is poison that is slowly killing you, now faster. Your entertainment, your culture, it is being turned and was turned against you. The naivete is staggering. The ignorance and the blindness that people display on a daily is staggering. We can't solve this with ignorance, and there is no one coming to save us. If that hasn't become clear by now, then the delusion is so big, and the hypnotic effect of the Operation Mockingbird and all the other mind control operations that are out there is so strong that people simply can't see through it any longer. We're also at the height of a multi-generational trauma cycle that is driving people into basically childlike behaviors on all levels. And that's what we see. We see a world of people that look like adults but behave like children. They can't take responsibility anymore. They can't be mature in their thoughts, in their words, in their actions. And because they can't, they're doing what children do. They're simply closing their eyes and turning away. They're hoping that the Big Papa will take care of it. Unfortunately, that is deadly. Unfortunately, all the feel-good rainbow and unicorn talk has proven to be deadly too. Only if we become really realistic, and there's all the good news that I've been sharing and so many others have been sharing. The reality is that we already are what we have been waiting for. That is the reality. I mean, I've said it a million times, I know, and others have. I did not invent this. I just realized it. I just actualized it in myself. And that there are no external solutions to this. Yes, we need to remove the problem, and swiftly. But we can only do that when we live up to what we and who we really are. And that's not happening. People are living in la la land. They're living in a fairy tale version that they made up of this reality. They're making up stories. They're making up illusions. I get it. The pain is big. The suffering is big. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Multi-generational trauma leads to so much suffering in life if it's not addressed, if it's not healed. But most people are not willing to do that either. And so they cooperate. They literally cooperate with their own annihilation. They cooperate with the mass extinction and the genocide that we're in the midst of. And we haven't seen anything yet, friends. We haven't seen anything yet. Their arsenal is huge because they were able to build it and get, let me tell you this, we built it. We built it for them. We built the fucking arsenal for them. We did that. We were used, abused, misled, but we did it. And now we're facing that. And it would be fairly quick and easy to fix it if on a larger scale we were willing to look the truth in the eye. And so I'll tell you this. That's what we're committed to. The truth and nothing but the truth. That is our spiritual North Star. And if people out there think that because they've gone down a few rabbit holes that they know what they're dealing with, most people don't. Most people have no idea the level of evil, the level of psychopathic evil that is out there and all around us. And with every day that we spend in ignorance, passivity, delusion, we allow more of that evil to come into our midst because that's what it feeds off of. That's what it loves. It has convinced us. It has convinced us that it doesn't exist. And so when we see it, we don't want to call it what it is. We don't want to call evil evil. We don't want to act as if it was evil. No, we find excuses. We find some bullshit stories. Evil is evil and it is here. I'm deeply committed to the truth. And this has become my sole commitment on all levels. And I have to be very honest with myself too when I notice that I've bullshitted myself. And I have, like all of us. But here's what I can see coming. The first dominoes have already fallen. This chain of events cannot be stopped. It doesn't mean it has to reach you personally, and it doesn't mean that there's nothing we can do. But there are certain potentials that are so far advanced that they will play out. And you simply have to get ready for it. Mostly, and first and foremost, you have to ready yourself spiritually. We've seen such suffering in the last years. And it only piles on to all the suffering that we've experienced in our lives if we don't address it, if we don't heal it. But that is your responsibility, not mine or anyone else's. You need to take care of that for you. You can get help, and there's great help out there, but you need to do it. There's no one else who can do it for you. But you also need to get ready on physical levels. All the infrastructure, everything that we see around us will be taken away from us because they need us on our freaking knees. They need us begging. They need us to be hopeless. They need us to be powerless. They need us to be completely dependent on them. And they will do whatever it takes to make that happen. The infrastructure, food, power, water, whatever you name it, it's so vulnerable. Cyber, it is so incredibly vulnerable. It is highly centralized, and it was designed that way because they needed that chess piece at the right time. So you need to do what you can with what you have where you are to not just become the best possible version of yourself, but to create a life that you are in charge of. To build a reality that you are in charge of. Where does your food come from? Where does your water come from? Where does your warmth come from? Your power. Whatever those fundamental needs in your life are. Now, not tomorrow. You need to start now. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Shit's going down in the cities, and it's going to get worse. And everywhere where there isn't complete compliance with the agenda, you're going to see Maui, Lahaina, you're going to see California, fire style, you're going to see floods, you're going to see hurricanes. Whatever it takes, they're doing it. Whatever it takes. Now, the ultimate solution is to remove the source of the problem. But how do we remove something that we're not willing to acknowledge exists, that we're not willing to look for, find it, and neutralize it? Now, 1/2 of that journey is your inner work. But it's only 1/2. We live in a construct that requires action, that requires moving in the direction of where we want to go. The same players who've been abusing and killing and murdering the population are still in play. They're still there. They're still very much in their positions. And we're waiting for what? I don't know. For what the world is waiting, I don't know. I know they're waiting for Jesus Christ to return. Well, it's happened. Already happened. What, maybe Christ didn't return in the flesh? Maybe in the form that is most important, consciousness? The world is waiting for someone or something to save it. And that waiting is the death sentence in our lives individually and in this collective experience. So I'm telling you, get ready. Because we ain't seen nothing yet. They want this dystopian fucking nightmare that they've been working on for a very long time done in the next 5 years. Done. 5 years is nothing, my friends. And they've been working on this for a very long time. And so you can close your eyes all you want. You can put your head in the sand if that's what you want to do. But that ain't going to do nothing. And there's nowhere to run. People think about going to certain places. This is coming everywhere. We already have a network of thousands and thousands and thousands of Starlink satellites. Now, what are those satellites doing? What kind of web are they creating? What is the Internet of Everything? What is tokenization of everything? This is what's happening. If that's the world you want to live in, you got it. If not, we need to step up. Now, I want to be very clear. I have never, And I will never advocate for offensive violence. Defensive violence I have no problem with. More power to you. Somebody attacks you, something attacks you, something is looking to harm you, by all means neutralize it, kill it, whatever you need to do. But I will never call for violence. That's what they want. This problem can be removed by numbers, intentions, and appropriate actions. This is what I had to say. Ignorance is bliss until it becomes a nightmare. Don't fall for that. Life becomes incredibly expanded when you step into who you were really meant to be and not just some title, some small box that they put you in. Get ready. Much love, many blessings. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.